Hello ladies and gents, my name is Storyteller and I'm here with a game called Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. So I completed this game and I kinda wanted to give you my opinion on this very game. So the game itself is a little bit split into two parts, you could almost say. You have the usual Assassin's Creed gameplay with like stealth aspects and combat, you know the deal, right? There have been a lot of games before this very game, like because stealth aspects, you are a bit sneaky, and when you get into combat, you just fight and use swords and whatever. And in this game, there's also ship gameplay, where you have your own ship and you fight other ships, use your cannons, your mortars, your weapons, whatever, and you take over ships and whatever. So first off, the graphics. The graphics look good, pretty good as well. I think it's a very good looking game, but it doesn't run all that well. Especially in the beginning when this game first released and there weren't really that much drivers for it, and it didn't run that well. I'm even on high-end computers, but there have been some patches. There has also been some driver updates, and now this game runs decent. I mean, it's not the best running game, but it runs pretty. I mean, it could improve, but then again, everything can improve. So, with my setup, you know that I got a 770. I made a video on this before. This GTX 770, an i7 processor. And I can run this near my max settings, but I have to turn AA down and the aliasing down to be able to run this pretty well. So keep that in mind. You need a decent computer to be able to run this. Keep that in mind if you are considering buying this game. Wow. So the soundtrack is pretty good. I'm a big soundtrack fan. I usually listen a little bit to music of some movies and such. So soundtrack to me is important, and this game doesn't disappoint in that. I've made a video on this, well, where I talked about this before, and where we talked about the games of 2013. And this game doesn't disappoint because it has a very good soundtrack. It's at some moments it even gives you like a very epic feel when you're fighting your ship against like a fortress. You're using your cannons and there's like a fight going on, and suddenly this epic music appears out of nowhere. It's very good, and it kicks in when you need it. So the story is kind of decent, but I have some problems with it. So first off, when you start the story, it's kind of a tutorial. The tutorial is mixed in with the story. For example, it teaches you how to board the ship and to conquer this enemy ship, which is good as if you play it the first time, but if you wanted to play a second time, the second playthrough, then it gets a little bit annoying, and not even talking about the third and the fourth playthrough, whatever. And I did play it second time, so. And then the story, there's a certain moment where you think the story ends, but it actually doesn't end. It still goes for a long run afterwards. I'm not going to spoil it too much for you, I hope. And then, in a certain moment, it ends all of a sudden. Well, not that sudden, but kind of. And you're like, it's not an ending where you go like, wow, it ended. Or there's some giant plot twist or something. It's just like, oh, this is the ending. Oh wait, I guess that happened. So that's a little bit of a problem, and there's also the tutorial mixed into the story, which is annoying if you play it a second time, as I said before. However, there are some other things that also trouble me. For example, I think this game would benefit if it was just a pirate game and not an Assassin's Creed game. What I think is that the company didn't really want to go with another sort of franchise, and just was like, well, let's just make another Assassin's Creed game instead. I mean, like, I think this game would have been better if it was just a pirate game, and maybe if there was some more humor added to it, more ridiculous moments or something. that they should have been a little bit more fun, but I guess it's their way of doing things, and they wanted to go that direction or whatever. Okay, I'm fine with it. Whatever. I think that I'm not really fine with is I had certain moments where I had to replay a mission like 10 times. I'm not even overreacting, because it seems like there's one way to do a thing, one way to complete the mission. Well, there are multiple ways, but there's one way that is the best way. It's like, how do I explain this? It's like you get the option to go left and the right, but the game is only tested for if you went left, for example. But if you are a person that likes to do it their own way, and you decide, well, I'm going to go right, but because I feel better about the right. But the game isn't optimized for right, so probably it's like a dead end or something, or the enemies are all facing that direction where you are going. And it can be very annoying. The game wants you to do a certain thing, but you want to do something else. They want to make you do what the game wants and not what you want, and that's a bit annoying when playing some missions. Just keep that in mind if you're a person that likes to do their own thing. That can be very frustrating at some moments. Another thing that's a little bit frustrating is the collectibles in the game. And there are a lot of them. I'm not even kidding, there are so much of them, so much collectibles. You spend like 75% of your time playing the game just collecting collectibles and nothing else. You can opt not to gather them, but if you don't, you're missing items and extra bonuses. And it's a little bit the same with the upgrades of your ship, because you can upgrade your ship, which is interesting, and you can also a little bit customize it. Not that much, but you can, for example, customize the sails or customize the figurehead or the wheel, which is pretty neat. But there are only 3 things you can customize, and that's a little bit of disappointment. But it's nice that you can do it nevertheless. But I was talking about the upgrades. So the upgrades, you also need to gather materials for them, and you have to grind them. It takes a lot of time as well. Next to the story, you almost have to upgrade your ship, because you will need your ship for some of the story missions. So you kind of need to gather materials to upgrade your ship. Another problem that this game also has is the game has bugs. Wow. Bugs. Almost game-breaking ones. And for example, one of my save files actually got ruined. Well, not ruined, I can still play, but I cannot progress in the story. What happened is, if I played a certain mission, it would crash the game after like 1 minute into the mission. And that's very annoying, because I have to actually restart a new save file to get over that problem. So it's probably a good idea to back up your save file if something like that happens. And sometimes it just happens in a mission where something happens which forces you to just restart the mission because you can't progress in the mission itself. So that also happened to me a few times. Just keep that in mind. There are some bugs in this game. But my conclusion of this game is, it's a pretty good game. It's one of the better games I've played in the past years, I think. Yes, but just keep in mind the problems that I've told you. Back up your save file. This game has good graphics, but make sure your computer is up to notch. Your computer can actually run this game. The gameplay feels good, especially the ship combat. Ship combat is very fun, unless you have to do it like a lot of grinding, which you probably have to do. But generally it feels good, the gameplay, especially ship combat. And soundtrack is good, but there are some bugs in the game, and keep that in mind. And backup save files, definitely. Can't express this enough, because you will lose a lot of progress like I did. So there can also be some frustrating moments because of that, and also in the missions. So I hope this video helps a little bit, whether you want to get this game or not. let me know what you think of this video. Thanks for watching and take care, folks.